guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. This kid, which I don't even want to call him a kid, okay, he's 18 now. He was 17 when this happened. High schooler, who, as you can see, he plays baseball. Jesse Butler. His full name is Jesse Mac Butler. He is from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Okay? Now, he was sentenced initially for 80 years in prison after admitting to a string of sex crimes against teenage girls, but he has avoided jail time, prison time, because they have decided to classify him as a youthful offender. Yeah. So if he meets these guidelines that they have set out with him in this sweetheart of a plea deal, which is, it boggles my mind how this even is possible. He was charged back in March of this year as an adult initially with 10 felony counts related to sex crimes against 2 girls. Now, they were both former girlfriends of his. One of them, the first one, he actually choked her until she was unconscious, and she almost died. In fact, the doctors have stated that if she was choked for another 30 seconds, that she would have been dead. And his charges, Butler's charges, they included the 2 attempted rapes, 3 charges of rape by instrumentation. And yes, I'm probably not going to get very good accolades or anything from YouTube because I am putting this out there, and and to me this doesn't matter, but it needs to be said. Again, 3 charges of rape by instrumentation, 1 count of sexual battery, 1 count of forcible oral sodomy, 2 counts of domestic assault and battery by strangulation, and 1 count of domestic assault and battery. At the time, he was 17 years old. And if you look at his picture, he's not a little guy. He's fairly built. He's fairly built. And he obviously has zero respect for women. 0. He actually pled not guilty to all these charges, of course, and the district attorney's office, well, they decided to strike a deal up with him and his defense team to change his status from adult to youthful offender. Youthful offender, which means that he's not going to serve this 78 to 80 years in prison. In fact, he may not even see a day behind bars at this point. The victims' families have been begging the district attorney not to do this, not to go this way. But this past July, the judge signed off on this plea deal. And then in August, Jesse Butler, he changed his plea from not guilty to no contest. And I really always hate that no contest plea deal. I hate it, because that always to me means I did it, but I'm not going to admit that I did it on the record. That's what it means to me. So, like I said, he was ultimately sentenced to those 78 years in prison, but now that he has been reclassified as a, quote, youthful offender, unquote, he's now entitled to a whole different way they're going to handle him, okay? He is entitled to a rehabilitation plan that was drawn up by the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs, and it was presented to the court last week. And this allows him to avoid any prison time. If he complies with his court-ordered rehab for 1 year, doesn't break any more laws, his entire record will be wiped clean, meaning not only doesn't he get prison time, but he will never appear on any sex offender registry. This is disgusting. Disgusting. His attacks on these two young girls obviously mean nothing to the the district attorney's office, as well as the judge, because they're okay with it. The victims' families, they're not, and I'm not, and you shouldn't be either. This should appall you. You should be questioning what the hell is going on in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Hey guys, families of the victims say the system failed them and they want harsher penalties. Butler's status was changed to youthful offender. Those incidents happened before he turned 18.
New court documents shed light on how a teenager charged as an adult in March is now charged as a youthful offender after charges of rape, sexual battery, and domestic assault and battery by strangulation. Jesse Butler, who is now 18 years old, pleaded no contest to the 11 charges against him.
All right, and this is KOCO 5 at Oklahoma, ABC. I kind of refer to them as Coco. I don't really know if that's what they refer to themselves as, but this is their news piece, obviously. Again, this is the charges right in front of you here. The last one they hand wrote in, violation of a protective order. So you've got attempted rape in first degree, rape by instrumentation, sexual battery, forcible oral sodomy, attempted rape in the first degree, rape by instrumentation again, domestic assault and battery by strangulation ×2, rape by instrumentation, domestic assault and battery, and the violation of protective order. Anyone else, wouldn't get counseling or rehab for something this atrocious.
Which means he neither admits nor disputes the charges. During the incidents of abuse, Butler was enrolled in Stillwater Public Schools, and court documents include victim impact statements. One of them said, quote, "I've had to explain bruises, explain silence, explain why I started isolating from people who love me. You didn't just strangle me with your hands. You strangled my voice, my joy, my ability to feel safe in my own body."
Can you imagine? These are high school kids, two girls whom he dated. Okay? I don't know, I believe they're 16. At least one of them is 16. And obviously, even if they announce their names, we're not going to discuss their names. This is horrible enough as it is. But this is something that she said. He's not only physically abused her, but mentally and emotionally, he silenced her. 17 years old when he did all this. 17 years old. And if he gets away with this as a youthful offender and doesn't get sent to prison for any time, I can tell you what, he is going to do this again. Maybe not this first year, because if he follows this, if he's a good boy, yeah, for 1 year, this deal gets him off. But this kid, this now adult, this monster, let's call him a monster, okay? Because that's what he is. He is going to do this again. And I would not be surprised if the next time he actually kills someone.
That same girl even said Butler threatened to kill her if she ever told anyone what he was doing to her. We reached out to a mother of one of the victims, and she gave us a statement Wednesday saying in part, quote, "As a mom, I never thought I'd have to watch my daughter fight this kind of battle, one where she had to prove she was the victim over and over again, while the system made excuse after excuse for the person who hurt her. My daughter has handled this with more strength than most adults could. She still shows up to school, still cheers, still smiles, even when people who should have protected her didn't. Watching her stay brave while adults failed her has been both inspiring and heartbreaking." Here's what was ultimately decided in the case. According to the Oklahoma State Courts Network, Butler will remain subject to the sentence pronounced on August 25th this year, which was 10 years. But that is pending his compliance or non-compliance with the Youthful Offender Rehabilitation Plan. The court extended jurisdiction to Butler's 19th birthday. He is now under and subject to the oversight of the Office of Juvenile Affairs, pending his compliance or non-compliance with the orders of the court.
Now, Butler's next court appearance will be December 8th up in Payne County.
This piece of crap. Because, yeah, he's a piece of crap. He doesn't deserve a deal at all. And especially this deal that they gave him. And these two girls, I can't imagine not only what they went through when he was abusing them, when he was attacking them and R-ing them, and then later threatening them, but now they have to continue to get up every single day and realize and know that he's still out there walking free, just like everyone else. Per the police affidavit, one of the girls, they identify only as LS. She dated Butler for about 3 months back in January of 2024. She was 16 years old at the time. She stated that Butler repeatedly R-ed her and attempted to R her and would strangle her if she refused. So, if she didn't want to have sex, he would make her have sex. That's rape. And it doesn't matter if she said yes tonight and then tomorrow she didn't want it. It doesn't work that way. She's allowed to say no. And because she didn't want it, he would beat her and strangle her. And then another girl, they identified her as KS. She dated Butler for about 6 months, and she told investigators that Butler was aggressive and violent with her, that she went along with unwanted sex to avoid being hurt. And also, the victim stated that one time, when she refused to have sex with him, he strangled her and recorded himself strangling her until she passed out. Now, police, they found that video on his phone. But guess what? Apparently that doesn't make a difference, does it? They have evidence on his own phone of him strangling one of these two girls. And they have these two girls with physical damage, physical abuse on them. And they still offer him this crap deal. It is disgusting, and I can't fathom what the hell the district attorney's office and the judge were and are thinking, giving this piece of garbage a deal at all. Where if he follows it for the next year, he gets off completely scot-free, not on the registry, and everything just basically gets erased like a chalkboard. Now, this is an Oklahoma state representative. He is speaking out about this case and thank goodness that he is. And he was on Banfield the other night talking about this because regardless of whether you live in Oklahoma or not, this is something that people need to be aware of and they should be outraged by.
Well, if this don't set you on fire, I guarantee your wood's wet because it makes you upset. Anybody that listens to this is going to be absolutely upset, and you start into how did this happen? How do we stop this? But here's the problem: the laws are there.
All right, so on the screen is his rehabilitation plan. Yeah. 1. Daily check-ins, weekly counseling, a curfew, no social media, and 150 hours of community service. What a crock of crap. All of it.
What do you do when the courts don't follow the rules that's already set? Because they're the ones who set this. They filed charges on him. They set him as an adult. That didn't just happen. They had to have a hearing to adjudicate him to an adult. So how in the world did this judge come back and rule that, no, we're going to place him under a Youthful Offender Act and make it to where this sexual predator, this person convicted of all these sexual crimes, no longer has to do any of the things that require time, that require check-in and to register as a sex offender, turn him back out on the street without any kind of oversight over him. That's, again, if that don't fire you up, there's something wrong.
Well, it's fired us up. We're now, I think, on our second or third night of coverage on this story. We want to see if there's going to be a change, some resolution, some recourse for these moms and their daughters who have suffered through this. But I keep coming back to how it happened. Sir, do you think that the courts are corrupt? Is that how you think that this deal was maneuvered?
Oh, absolutely. We're working on grand juries right there. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see more cases like this. I think we're going to see, I'm working on a case that may be as shocking as this. We're trying to get the Payne County grand jury because of this kind of action. And so, yes, I mean, absolutely, there's a lot of problems. We're meeting with, great resistance from their court and from our Oklahoma government. I mean, we're meeting with great resistance on trying to get that grand jury and hold these people accountable. So,
sounds like Payne County has a lot of problems. And thank goodness that this state representative, he's not going to let them get away with it. He's putting it out there. And I applaud him. And I hope that there's more people in the state government that get behind him, because this is not okay. This is not acceptable. And like he said, there's others. This shouldn't happen. The law and the way things are supposed to work when a crime is committed, there's a process that is supposed to be followed. And the process is not being followed in this case because they're giving him a slap on the wrist and telling him, oh, it's okay. If you do everything that we tell you to do in the next year, well, you don't have to worry about any of this ever following you around. And they're also telling him, without saying it, whether or not you agree with it, that it's okay to force women to have sex with you. It's okay to strangle them until they pass out. Because really, that is what they're saying to him. That everything that he did, there's nothing wrong with it.
So again, until they're held accountable, the laws are there. But what do you do when they don't follow their own rules? When they don't follow justice? They took an oath to justice. Does this sound like justice? And again, here's what I'm saying: shouldn't we investigate? Should we not investigate? Was there political favor done here? Was this done as a result because of positions the father has or because people knew each other? I would think that it would warrant investigation. And again, it's all allegations. We don't know what happened until we go in and investigate it. But golly, I'm mad as all get out And we're trying to have other things there in that same county investigated. I mean, very, very corrupt things going on in this county and really across the state. There's all kinds of things. And guess what? We're having to fight our own Oklahoma government. This is red Oklahoma, and yet we're having to fight them, and we're having to fight the court system just to try to get things like rape and these type of cases investigated.
Well, I love the fact that you and Democrats, you said it's red Oklahoma, but Republicans and Democrats come together on this issue. I'm just hoping that you can actually force the hand and get this investigation kicked in, maybe a grand jury to look into it deeper. But short of that, sir, do you see any kind of federal path for these families with the facts and the affidavits that you've read? Have you seen anything that might actually give them some sort of standing in the federal courts?
I think that you could get to pass possibly to go to federal court. One, if we can get a grand jury and we can establish enough that there's no way that we get a fair hearing in Oklahoma, we could establish a federal grand jury and we could include this case. Now, I don't think you're going to get a reversal on the case, but you could look into, did the judges act right? Was there favoritism? Those kind of things. And again, if the family could prove favoritism or corruption in the court, that would be a cause to get that maybe into federal court. There's two vehicles possibly to get that done. It's going to be extremely hard. Once you get a ruling, very hard to get the court to change that ruling. And again, what you're going to see is this case put off, and they're going to try to outweight you and everybody forget and move on and go to some other newsworthy story. And again, we have case after case in just this county alone of these kind of incidents, not only rape, but arresting people who were turning in sexual abuse or abuse on their children, and they arrested them and put them in jail. So again, it's not just covering up rape, but it is going after people who come in and report these kind of abuses. So it's I mean, it's out of control. This is a big deal, and this is a big story. And if you look at what's going on and you put this rape case up beside grandmas and dads getting arrested for turning in abuse, that's when the community really is outraged. You want to get outrageous, start looking into everything and put it all in perspective, and you will get fired up. There is a lot of corruption going on in this community.
Again, this is Oklahoma State Rep Justin J.J. Humphrey. I had never seen him before, but you know what? I like him. I like him already. He is putting it all on the line, and he's like, this is not okay. This needs to change. And I agree with him. I think that there is some sort of corruption going on. Did the district attorney's office or the judge, somewhere in there, was there some sort of illegal deal happening to get him this youthful offender reclassification? Because I don't see that. Again, this is not normal, but it does sound like there's a lot of problems in Oklahoma, but then again, there's a lot of problems in a lot of states. So we need to make sure that we have folks like this representative, this lawmaker, that's going to stand up for these victims when they see that justice is not being served for the victims, because it's not being served in this case. These girls, they're being told that what happened to them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to Payne County, and it doesn't matter to the state of Oklahoma. That's what they're telling these girls. And other victims, how likely are they to come forward if they see this is what happens when they do? That if someone is attempting to or attacking them, do you think they're going to come forward if they think that, well, they're not going to do a damn thing anyway, so I might as well keep quiet? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. You can't have justice if the justice system is corrupt. Something needs to change. And again, is it just this county, or is it other counties in Oklahoma? I don't know. But I mean, I would have thought that Oklahoma was better than this, But, you know, there is trouble and corruption all over the place. Sometimes you don't have to look, you know, very hard to find it, and other times you do. But again, my hat's off to this gentleman, and I really hope that all of us, you know, getting behind him and getting behind these victims' families, and telling this district attorney's office, this judge, that this is not okay. Something is very, very wrong when you are letting this teen artist, this teen rapist, again, this one, I just put it out the window, okay? That you are letting Butler win. You're letting him win by not putting him in prison. All right, guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. I am going to do another video on it in the near future. I know there's some documents out there, and I want to thank Brooks, my friend from Crime Lines and Lies, CLL. She is the one who initially did this video, and she did a live. She does live streams, and so I'm going to be covering it. She's my friend in Oklahoma, so usually if I'm covering something in Oklahoma, I learned it from her. But all right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.